Hey y'all. So it's been a hot minute since I've seen everybody, unless you happen to watch today's live in my other page. Welcome to the Big Tumblers group. I used to do lives on here all the time. Had to take a little break. My husband had to have some surgery, and we're also pending more surgery. But on top of that, my health hasn't been super great, and just not feeling well most of the time, which for some reason all of a sudden I'm starting to feel kind of yucky. But we are going to do this live because I told you we were going to do the live, and that's just all there is to it. So welcome aboard. I see Melissa. Sorry it took me so long. I had to let my dogs go potty, and you know how all the other stuff goes. So we are going to get started in just a second. I'm actually pulling out a few other things for the second cup we're going to do. We're going to do 2 cups kind of in a timely fashion. We'll put it that way. We're going to do a glitter beach cup and an alcohol ink beach cup. Okay. So we're going to do 2 cups, 2 different methods, same style, same result. Okay. Just a couple different ways you can do them if you choose to. It gives you some options, see which one you like best. Okay. So my name's Bridget. I've been with this group. I'm admin for the group. This is LaDonna White's page. This was her group. She started this years ago. Actually got shut down for a while just because of some things with Facebook and drama and blah. But we are back and we are going live. When this is over, I'm going to tag you in several different links. One, there'll be some pictures of the items that we used. Hey, Miss Heather. Hey, LaDonna. I see a bunch of people on here. I apologize, guys, for being just a few minutes late after the other one. Like I said, I had some things to do real quick. Had to go find my fan because y'all know I'm having me a hot flash right now. So I'll cut this off if it's too distracting or y'all can hear it, but it's really quiet. So we are going to do 2 beach tumblers. Okay, I'm just going to show the 2 styles. You can choose which way you like best. Some people even have other styles of doing a beach tumbler. So y'all kind of pick. But for this first one, we're going to be using all Hero glitters. I do think that one of the glitters that I'm going to use, she may not still have if LaDonna gets to hang out. Now, she is a busy lady too. Hey, Miss Betty. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, LaDonna, only because I was unsure about one of these glitters, if you still have it or not. But y'all, whether she has these glitters or not, she has a ton of new colors. They are all U.S. made glitters, which is a plus if you support U.S. products. This was one, I know this one's made in the USA. This is one of her glitters. I'm going to talk to you about the glitters as I'm kind of asking LaDonna. This one is called Miss Jackie. It's a gold glitter. Very pretty. Okay. This is Ace. This is the one in question, Miss LaDonna. Y'all, she has others if this Ace is still not available. But it's an iridescent, kind of pink and white, chunky, beautiful glitter. That's the one I had in question. I've got Zone by Hero Glitter. It's more of a teal color. And then I've got, I think it's Steak. It's S-T-Y-Q-U-E. I'll be taking pictures of these and putting them up at the end. If she doesn't have a few of these glitters still in stock, guys, do not fray. You can always look at her page and find something that is going to work, because she has so many choices of glitters, you'd be amazed. She also has her products until Sunday, I believe. I know it was a week long, but it's been going on a couple days. That it is buy 2, get 1 free right now. So I'll be listing her link, or if somebody wants to post it in the comments so people can kind of watch and be ordering at the same time, that'd be awesome. But hers is hero-glitter at myshopify.com. But it is spelt kind of different. Or you can just go to Google and type in Hero Glitter, and it will pull it up, and you just tap the link, okay? Then for the second tumbler that I told you we would do, we're doing this one in the glitters. The other one will be in alcohol inks. You can use any type of alcohol inks that you can find. You can use Christy Taylor's glitter. Their business is still up and running. We did lose Christy a couple months ago to COVID, but her husband has a very small business that he's been trying to keep running in her honor. If you have had the pleasure, I have the pleasure of meeting her in person. We were friends, but if you have not seen some of her tutorials, y'all, she's an amazing person. Her tumblers were like no others. I could not replicate or duplicate anything she did because she was a very artsy person. So a lot of her tumblers had very personal touches, okay? But I'll list hers because we are going to use some of her Pathlon paints too for the alcohol ink tumbler. But right now we're going to focus on the Hero Glitter, and we're going to go ahead and get started with this, okay? Hey, Miss Stephanie, Candace, Desiree, how are y'all doing tonight? We're going to get going, guys, okay? Because we're doing 2. I want to make sure I get everything in. Biggest thing is sometimes things that I say may be repetitious only because every day new people come into the tumbling craft world, and we are very glad to have everybody on board. Everybody brings something new to the table, guys. So whether you've been doing cups a day, a week, 6 months, 10 years, whatever, I just like to bring everybody on board. So anything I'm talking about or doing at the moment may be very repetitious for you. Just saying how much epoxy you would use for a glitter cup versus whatever. Just different things may be repetitious for you, but don't give up on me, okay? I'm doing that for the people who are new at doing this, okay? So we are going to, we are going to use ALE epoxy. If you have never used ALE epoxy, I'm going to reach over here and grab some, okay, guys? Real quick, I didn't put it in front of me. I just got done doing another live. ALE epoxy, these are actually the way they package them now. But I have ALE that I've had over here in the corner. And actually, I want to grab it for you because I'm going to show y'all something in a second. ALE, you'll see in comments sometimes as capital ALE. Or you'll see it mentioned as a little extra. That's the name of the company, okay? It is a part A, a part B. Just so you know a little bit about the company, they are a plant-based epoxy, minimal smell. Usually the regular ALE epoxy dries in about 4 hours, so I can move on to the next step. Sometimes it's a little faster or slower depending on the temperature and humidity, of course, for anyone. But I'm going to show you why I like ALE. Okay, I'm stepping out of the picture for a second. Now, y'all got to realize somehow, don't ask me why, I'm very uncoordinated sometimes, but I have a ton of ALE epoxy in my cabinet over here to my left, or it probably your right. I don't know what we're looking at, but it's over here. This I opened, and pardon where I spilled, I got glitter on it. I opened these bottles, guys, 6 or 8 months ago. Now, does that mean I don't use it? No, it means that Bridget has about 6 bottles of this open all over the room, okay? The reason I'm showing you this, that's been open 6 or 8 months, is because I want you to look and see the color and clarity of the back of these bottles. No yellowing, first and foremost, okay? So keep that in mind. There is no yellowing, guys. Some epoxies, and when I rearranged my craft room, I want to say I threw out, I didn't, I got one right here. I want to show y'all what I mean by yellowing. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. I'm just not. It's not fair to anybody because I'm not making any complaints. I love everybody who's in the business, period. This has been opened, and I got them in FIFO bottles, but I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. But this is your part A and part B. Opened it about a month and a half ago. And there's the color, okay? So imagine putting that on a white cup. Now, it does dye down some of the yellow because this lightens it up, versus my part A and part B look like that, okay? So, not mentioning the name of the company again, I'm going to put it back to the side so it doesn't get messed up or anything. But, guys, just listen. I'm telling you, it's quality product, okay? If you go on their webpage, which I will list later, they will send you a sample bottle. Don't have any right in front of me. Actually, I do. A lot again. Sorry. They will send you a sample. You get part A and part B sample. Free. You do have to pay shipping. Some is, oh my God, I didn't free if you got to pay shipping. But let me tell you. Out of these bottles, these are, I think these are 4 ounces if I'm right. 4 ounces each, so it's an 8 ounce. Is that right? Or is this a 1 ounce? This might be a 2 ounce sample. Either way, you can do 3 or 4 cups, maybe even 5 out of this or more, depending on if they're glitter cups or not, okay? Hey, Miss Greta. Hey, Miss Jennifer. The reason I say that, y'all, is because if you're doing a glitter cup, you use less epoxy, of course. You don't want to use a ton of epoxy on any cup you're putting glitter on, because the more epoxy you use, the more glitter you use. If you've been doing this a while, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new, let me explain real quickly. If you put a ton of epoxy on this cup, 10 milliliters or 15 milliliters. And this is truly, I think, a 15-ounce kitty cup. Okay, if I put that much epoxy on this, oh my gosh, you're going to use a ton of glitter. Okay, reason being, glitter gets soaked up in the epoxy, so as it sits for a couple minutes and you're kind of doing your thing, you'll look and see shiny spots all in your cup. And you're like, what are those shiny spots? It's epoxy that's come through, which means you need to put more glitter on it, okay? So when I say you can get a lot of cups out of this, you can. Free, y'all, this is free. You go on their link, which I will share unless somebody wants to share it in the comments. You get that free. That's how confident they are about their product, okay? Do I push somebody's product? I push the ones I use. I'll keep it real. Here in my house, I have Artist Resin, Counterculture, ALE, Artist Resin, a ton of Counterculture extra little products they have. ALE makes epoxy, and they are amazing at it, guys. I'm just saying. But lots of other products mixed in with those, with the other stuff. But this is amazing. I keep... I said Amazing Clear Cast. I got DIY epoxy. I got everything. KS Resin. I've used any epoxy out there, guys, because I just use what's out there so I can have a better guess or judgment as to what works in my house, what would be good to just say, I've used it before. These are the pros and cons, okay? I don't normally share those on lives, but if you need a question or if you have a question, send me a message and I'll tell you, what I've found, okay? Doesn't mean... it happens to everybody. It just is. I can't use Pro Marine in my house. Why? Because my house is about 58 degrees. But that does not mean it will not work perfect for you, okay? I'm going to swipe my comments. I'm stuck. I can tell because everything stops coming. Hold on. I'm shaking the phone. All right, guys. So, we're going to get started. For this one, we are going to use... I'm trying to think what I want to do. Oh, and also in the difference... the alcohol ink cup that you can't see that I'm going to bring forward once we get done with the first one is going to have, I thought about using the real sand. So a lot of people have not used real sand on a beach tumbler. It might not be your forte. If you don't want to use real sand, don't. But I have sand from Myrtle Beach and I have sand from Florida. And I also have sand from, my other daughter-in-law went somewhere and got me some sand. I think it was near Charleston. It has little pieces of seashells in it, so it's actually really, really cute on a tumbler. So, whatever you think, as we're going along, y'all leave me a comment as to what type you want to see, okay? Beach tumblers have been done forever, okay? At the end of this, when I get done kind of doing things, I'm going to show you two things on top of the two different types of tumblers that I have seen people do that are very, very cool, okay? And I'm actually looking around this room to see if I brought one in here. But I can definitely explain it to you real well. Okay, so we're going to get going. We are using the ALE. I'm going to show you the glitters we're going to use. Y'all are going to laugh at me when I tell you this. I have a few glitters that of LaDonna's that I have, back in the day, they were in bags. You have a choice of bags or bottles. And I had taken them out of their bag, so I don't know actually the name of a couple of them. So if LaDonna does come on board, I think I saw her earlier, or if she has a chance, or I'll even talk to her, we'll find out what the names of them are. But I do want you to be aware, when I give you the link to her page, I do want y'all to check her out. Just because, oh, I just made a mess. Just because her stuff is amazing. Okay, guys? I'm going to show you what we're going to use, and then we'll get started. Let me see if I can put this back in there. I just tipped over a little bitty cup, that's all. I had some in a cup. So, y'all, we're going to use the Miss Jackie by Hero Glitter. Okay? Somebody send me a message real quick. Just say hi. I think I've frozen. Not real sure what's going on. Nothing's moving. But I'm hoping everything's good. We're getting ready to get a storm here. So, the next one is Ace. That's by Hero Glitter. Great Pearlescent. Okay. We have got Zone by Hero Glitter. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Miss Candy. I appreciate you. It says you're new here. Have you been making cups a while and just new to our group? Hey, Miss Susan. Thank you also. I also have Stick. I don't know if I mentioned that while ago. STYQUE. Beautiful blue. Okay. These are the two colors that I have in bags. But I do not know the name of them. But we'll figure it out later. It's kind of a really pretty teal. Chunky glitter. Beautiful, beautiful. You'll see that as we put it on the cup. And this is... I would call it like a mermaid color. I don't know the true name of it. It has the purples and the turquoise and the blue. Do y'all see that as I turn it? How pretty that is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay? So these are the colors we're going to use for this cup. Okay? Then when we get to the next, I'll tell you the colors alcohol ink we're going to use. And then I'll show you the Pathlon paints in case you have never heard of those. You're going to be absolutely amazed. Okay? I'm new here in the group. Just started doing cups. All right, so y'all see we got a new person, Candy. I'm so glad you were here and willing to share that with us. It's real important because I try to make it a point. I treat everybody equally, whether you've been doing this 10 years or 2 days. It doesn't matter. I want to be able to help people. So if this may even be repetitious for you, but there are going to be things that I'll explain more in depth as I talk, because I talk 100 miles an hour, guys. Just saying, if you don't know me, you know I do. So you'll hear me say things that some people may already know, but that is the reason I share everything. It's for people like Candy. So if, in case they're having an issue, they're not willing to share, that maybe I'll say something that they'll go, oh, is that what's going on? So that's why I'm doing that, okay? Now listen, I'm going to pull this other cup up for a minute because I thought about something. We are doing a live. I want you to be able to see how quickly this paint dries and why you would use Pathlon paint. But that way, this cup, we don't have to sit here and talk for a while. We can move right on into the cup. So if you see me pulling my tumbler or my turners forward, you'll know what I'm doing. Because all I'm going to do, can everybody see? I can see this cup, so I'm hoping you can. Okay? Hey, Miss Dana. All right. So this is a silver cup, okay? It's been sanded, prepped. What I mean by sanded is I took it, I scuffed up, I took my sanding blocks. You can use any kind of sanding block. Usually I use something a little more aggressive. You can use you can use a 220 to do it. It's a little rough. These sizes are on the edges of my block. One side's one another. So by prepping, I mean sanding the cup, really roughing it up, top, bottom, sides, wherever you can get it. And then washing it with Dawn soap, drying it real well, and you're pretty much ready to go. Unless you're using something called Bluebill Slick Stick. I'm always bad about saying it wrong because y'all know I got a lisp. Can't say my S is good. But anyway, when you do that, you don't have to so much prep your cup. It's an amazing product. It is in my cabinet over here. I could throw a shout out to them. I'll see if I can get it. I want y'all to see how big this is. This company is great. They're basically a paint company. I'm still here with you. I'm just over here in the cabinet hoping I don't knock everything over. This is Dixie Belle. This is called Slick Stick. Basically what it is it's kind of like a paint slash glue. And if I can open it, I'm pretty weak today. I can't open it. I can open it, but it hurts. So we'll just say it's open. Once you have your base paint on, whether it's spray paint or you decide to use the Pathlon paints I'm getting ready to show you, or you can just put this on and then get to work, actually. But this stuff is amazing. This is 32 ounces. I've been using it a while, and I think it's right to here. I think I paid $20 or $24 for it, but y'all, this is going to last a lifetime pretty much. I keep it in a dark cabinet. It doesn't say to, but it's been in there forever and a day. And if I'm in a hurry to do a cup, that's what I use, okay? Hey, Miss Joy and Sue, I am so glad you're here. Yes, Sue Lund is saying Dixie Belle Slick Stick. They have a lot of other products. I just use this because you don't have to prep cups. It's amazing, okay? With Pathlon paints, it's pretty much the same way. This, I have pulled straight out of the box. The box is actually still back here on the floor in the bubble wrap, and I took the lid off and threw it on here. Took the little silver sticker off the bottom because sometimes they lift anyway. But I'm going to show you real quick what the Pathlon paint does, how you use it, okay? Just want you to know. Candy's asking where I'm from. Girl, I'm from South Carolina. Believe it or not, I was born in Michigan, but we moved here when I was like 8. We moved to North Carolina. I kind of been all over North and South Carolina. But I used to live in a small town called Pickens. I lived there forever and used to do lives in my kitchen. And now we live in a little town. It's not even a town, y'all. My address is called Liberty, like the Liberty Bell, South Carolina. But we live in a little community called Slabtown, which is between Easley, Anderson, Liberty. It's kind of in the central triad region of that. And I'm country, I promise you. There is nothing. I've been following They're great. And I haven't actually done a cup before. My husband has been making me tumbler turns for about 8 months. But I am kind of scared to try and use box. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. When I started this, I had no help. None. I did have a friend's daughter who kind of would answer questions as I went. But she was one of them crafters who wanted to kind of keep everything to herself because we live so close together. I think it was more she felt like I was trying to compete or something. I'm not in this to compete. I'm in here to break up the monotony of having 15 grandbabies and one on the way and always having them. I love my babies. You will see me do lives with my babies in here. I promise you before it's out. Or if you've already watched me before, you know. My babies come first. My husband, God, husband, grandbabies, children, like, it's all in there together, okay? So, I do this because I love it. And nobody helped me when I got started, guys. So, I started doing this. I was scared to death to do this, that, and other because I'd heard all these bad things. I will not even tell you how many cups I had to strip when I got going. Like, a ton. But I want to tell you something about stripping cups. It takes about 20 cents worth of acetone, a couple paper towels, and a Ziploc bag to strip a cup. Yes, you'll lose a little product that you've used, whether it's epoxy, glitter, alcohol inks. You're going to lose that because it's intended to take your cups back to nothing, okay? So please don't be scared to try. I have made more mistakes in doing cups than I did in a lifetime, and I made a lot of mistakes in my lifetime, okay? So, I am here for you. If you run across something you're not sure, you send me a PM. I'm like that. I do not mind answering questions. The only time I wouldn't answer questions is if I'm at a doctor's appointment changing one of the baby's diapers or I'm asleep. But I usually respond to everybody. Alright guys, so this is who I was telling you about. This is Christy Taylor's Panthalon Paints, okay? It's basically a paint, but it's, when it goes on, to me, it reminds me of a chalk paint, but it's not. It's a clay-based paint, okay? Amazing product. Her company is called ChristyTaylorCreations.com. I will add her link. No, she does not just have white, okay? I wish I could get, I'm going to grab just the first handful that I have, but know that I have about 25, 28 colors. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of them, just so you'll know what she does have. These are, that's not even some pretty ones, but these work. These are basically meant to be base colors, guys, okay? You're just doing this for the base paint color of your cup. Because typically, if you're going to use a glitter, you typically want your cup to have the base colors of that. A lot of people will take a glitter cup like this, that I'm going to put glitter on, and do a tan or a gold, a white, the turquoise, light blue, turquoise blue, or whatever. I do it from straight white, because the glitters I'm using are from Hero Glitter, and they are a premium glitter. But these are just some of the colors, guys, that the Panthalon paints come in, okay? This is definitely not all that she has. I just chose the white because I'm going to do the alcohol inks, okay? These last forever. Super easy to use, okay? Let me put these back down there so I can put them up. Oh, that one rolled all the way to the back wall. It'd be all right. So, guys, and that's like a cream color. Let me show you how easy it is to put on here. That way this can be drying when we go back to the glitter one. Hey, girl, glad to see you doing well. Hey, Miss Heather. Hope you're doing good. Hey, Miss Emily. So here we go, guys. Real simple. This cup, there's nothing been done to this cup except taking it out of the box, okay? This here is spray painted, and we'll talk about that as soon as I get this on. I usually dip my brush pretty light. I put it on the turner. You don't have to, okay? Please shake these paints up because, like I said, they are a clay-based paint. So they do tend to settle, okay? You can put it on as light or as dark as you would like. You do not have to be an artsy person to paint this on. And I say that because, y'all, I can draw stick figures pretty darn good. But that's about as far as it goes with my artistic ability as far as drawing or painting. My husband, when we bought this house, said you will not paint a wall here. That should tell you something, okay? Things about these, you want it to be a pretty thin coat. It does dry, and it looks very dry. That's what reminds me of chalkboard paint or chalk paint, because of the way it dries. It does not crack. So as you're putting this on, If you see any cracks, just know you need to put just a tiny bit more paint on that, okay? So I'm about done with this. I'm just watching it as it dries. Make sure we're good. You don't need to add a lot of pressure. I'm a heavy hand. So we'll watch that for a second. That actually is going to be just fine for what we need to do because the alcohol inks are going to cover it. So all I'm going to do is cap it. You saw how much I used. We're going to let that dry. We'll come back and start on the alcohol inks in a minute. I'm going to push this. Oh, my hair just got caught in my fan. Y'all know I'm hot. I'm old. You know you old. Not cutting anybody down that's old too. But I got to have a fan on 24/7. I get so hot. All right, let's see. Is that not cool, Miss Emily? So cool. So that's going to dry. So while we're doing this, it'll be dry. That is my prep, my base coat, and all in a nutshell. Okay? You don't have to worry about this later on peeling. Like if you did a spray paint cup and didn't prep. Just know if you are not prepping your cups, I'm telling you from experience, somebody will say, I don't prep any of my cups and they've been fine. That is amazing and you are very lucky because I probably did 30 or 40 cups before I had my first 2 complaints. Now I'm talking, this has been a while ago, guys, but I wasn't sanding. I didn't understand the importance of it, so I didn't do it. And what they would do is call me and send me a picture of my cup, and from the rim to about right here, the whole sheet of epoxy had come off, all the way down to the metal. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world just happened, okay? The reason they came off like that is I didn't prep it. So, the paint didn't have anything to adhere to. It had no scuff, no nothing. So, it peeled off as a whole sheet and lost everything. You can't fix something like that. It's all the way down to the metal. I'm just going to be honest. Some people might say, oh, you can super glue. I've heard people say you use epoxy grip. But it ain't going to work. They're going to bring it back and say it's taking on water and it turns into a hot mess, okay? So, Emily, yes, this is almost dry. Just saying that quick. But when we go back to it, we'll talk more about it. As far as prepping, I was talking about that just a second ago, Miss Emily. And we might have to just do a tutorial. If y'all want to, just send me a message and just say that would be an amazing idea for like just the actual prepping and maybe cleaning the rim. A lot of people have a real hard time cleaning the rim and know when to do it. Because if you're not doing it before your final coat of epoxy, you're basically leaving that rim exposed to the elements. Once you clean that rim and clean it all up, get all the paint off, the epoxy, the glue, whatever's up there that you need to get rid of, and then do your last coat of epoxy, bringing it over the rim. If you're not doing that, you're opening it back up to be exposed to water or whatever, and you're going to get lift. Does that make sense? You've got to seal on your final coat if you're cleaning the rim. Don't clean your rim right as you're getting ready to ship it off because they're going to send you a message back, okay? So let's get going. We're going to use the ALE, and then we're going to start throwing some glitter on here. As we're doing that, I'll talk to you about some different things that I've seen over time, okay? Let me do one thing. I'm going to put some of this. I have it in a Ziploc bag because I'm kind of embarrassed I got it in a Ziploc bag. So all I'm doing is just pouring it in some little cups because I can't pour from a bag, I'll be honest with you. I do have an essential trimmer. Sometimes you'll see my hands shake super bad. But please know that I'm not like crazy. It's just what happens to my body. I'm also going to show you a trick with glitter. If you saw my live I just did in my group just a second ago. Hey, Miss Brenda. But do you want epoxy on the rim in the end? I don't. But it's on the very corner of the lip. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let me see if I got one that I've done. Right here. Now, I haven't cleaned the inside of this cup. I haven't even done the rim to that one yet. That's a glow-in-the-dark cup. I'm trying to find you one I can show you. Because Melissa does have a point. Okay? Let me take this out. This is the cup I'm drinking out of. This is just my personal cup. I don't want to tilt it too much because it's got Mountain Dew in it, and I don't need that everywhere. I take my cups down to about right here. So it's almost, it's not even an eighth. Like, I don't know if you can tell where that's at. Now, some people are like, why do that? And whatever. I take it down just a hair. So when I do my epoxy on my final coat and I'm bringing it up, I go above that lip that I've created. I actually created a lip. And then I will go over the top because you're going to take that razor. You ever get a drop of epoxy on the inside on your final coat? You're like, what do I do with that? That way you can still clean it off this outside rim, okay? You can still clean it off here, but you don't bust your seal here. I don't know if you can even see what I'm talking about, and I apologize. But I've got like I've created a ledge so I can cover that lip. I do it on all the cups. Let's see. Somebody says, hey, Miss Brenda. Somebody was asking what kind of epoxy do I use. I have used every kind of epoxy out there. Being real. I'm not lying to you. Started out using Amazing Clear Cast. I didn't know there was anything else out there in the world because I found it at Walmart. Or I found it at Hobby Lobby, and I'm like, that's got to be the only epoxy. It's got to be what everybody's using. So I use that forever. And it's still a great product, but there's so many other products out there that you can use and try that seem to be a little faster, or this is a little better. My typical go-tos are the ALE, which is a little extra, or Counterculture, whether it be their artistic resin or it be their quick coat or their Fast Set, which Fast Set is a game changer. Just saying, I can have a layer done on my cups and dried in about 45 minutes in my home. It's setting up at 15, and I could move on at a half hour, but I usually leave them alone for about 30-45 minutes. Okay, those are typically my go-tos. But I do have other epoxies in here. I do use KS Resin Once in Blue Moon. I've got a ton of it up here. But my two go-tos are pretty much those. Okay? But if you have questions, I've used every kind and have them right here on the table. So I'll still use... Now, if I'm doing molds, that's a whole new ballgame. We'll have to talk about that one day. I use a whole different epoxy when it comes to molds. The reason being, Fast Set can remain flexible for a while. So I don't use them on molds because your molds can bend still. It just depends, I guess, and that's a hard question to ask because then I didn't answer your question really. But cups and molds, I do differently, okay? Just because there's better epoxy out there for certain things. It's made for that, okay? Have I tried tumbler epoxy? Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. If I could turn this camera around right now, I swear I would, but it'd be angled to the sky, y'all. My husband's in the backyard walking in front of my window. It's kind of like those videos you see of your husband doing something stupid in a Zoom meeting behind you. Well, that's what he's doing. That's all I'm going to tell y'all. He's still out there. I apologize. He makes me laugh sometimes. Sometimes I want to kill him. But he's out there doing crazy stuff behind the camera. Just so y'all know. Now listen. We're going to have to mix different epoxy for the other one, okay? But I'm just going to mix for this one. Glitter cup, this size, 15 ounce. Probably get away with 3 mLs, meaning 1.5 of A. She doesn't see me. He's trying to get my dog to get me. 1.5 of part A and 1.5 of part B. That actually is probably going to be too much. Somebody's going to say, how in the world are you going to make 3 mLs cover this whole cup? But I promise you it will. I promise you it does the amazing job. But if I put too much on here, I'm going to be sitting here glittering forever, okay? First time watching, I just ordered my sample. Good for you, Miss Queen Lala. Is it Queen Lala? You won't be disappointed. I'm just being honest. It depends on the temperature in your house, humidity. A lot of people work in the shop where y'all are outside, and I admire you because, girl, too fat to be outside. I'm in a spare bedroom. I've turned into a craft room. But I used to do tumblers in my kitchen. You know, kitchen's always hot. You don't get this size for not cooking. So I was doing them in my kitchen. It's always hot and humid in there. But the house was still cold and blah, blah. It just depends. But you will not be disappointed with the shine. The shine with ALE is amazing. Never yellow. Super, like, mirror finish. Minimal smell. You're going to like that part because it is a minimal smell. Doesn't give headaches like some epoxies can do. It's amazing. It's an amazing product. Good people. And it is plant-based. That's what's kind of neat. It's not a bunch of chemicals in it. Where, I guess, you're sitting there smelling a bunch of chemicals and relying on that to become your epoxy. This is a plant-based. Now, I want to tell you this, too, about them. I was talking to Donna the other day about, she runs the company. And she said that they are running into a few issues with their supplier for some of the natural products that are in it. But she believes they're back on their way up. So if If something seems like it's out of stock, don't hold that against them. It was something with all these storms we've been having, and they lost some of their natural products that they had access to make the epoxy. But do not give up on them, okay? She did let me know heads up that was going on, but I think everything's resolved at this point. But if you're like, everything's sold out, don't fret, okay? She still has sample bottles, and she still wants you to try it to make your own idea about what you want, okay? So that, I actually made 10 and 10, way too much, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it back in a clear cup or something and let you see, even after you mix this, how clear it is, okay? Let's see what we got. What's the name of the epoxy you're using? I'm sorry. It just came into your life. Okay, let me see what this one says. Big bottles are sold out. Yeah, I do think the big bottles are sold out. So this is actually, just to repeat again, because they're worth repeating, it's called ALE, or A Little Extra Incorporated. When the live is over, I will share their business page where you can go to order. Okay? And I was telling them, since you did just come on, if you go on there, they'll send you this as a sample. You do have to pay shipping. Some people are like, well, my God, the shipping's higher or whatever. But y'all need to understand, it costs $10 now to ship postal service a tumbler. So hopefully you're using Pirate Ship or something else, because it's $10 to ship a tumbler. 8 to 10, really, but still close enough. But they do charge you shipping on it, so it's not like it's free. But you can still do 5 or 6 cups out of that amount. They said even more, really, if you think about it. If you're doing just glitter cups, you haven't branched out. Yeah. Hey, Miss, is that Dawn and Lily? All right. I appreciate y'all coming in. I'm just kind of peeking. Now, listen, if some of you people have been making cups for a while, happen to see a question and it gets past that question and I don't answer it, y'all feel free to chime in for me, okay? I do go back and look at, yeah, the shipping's like $8.75, but I think it's, I want to tell you that she told me that would technically cost you 20 bucks plus shipping for that kind of size. I have several of the smaller bottles that I use, but I don't want to reach up there again. I've been kind of avoiding y'all a little bit. But, yeah, you do have to pay shipping, okay? I don't wear a mask either. Somebody says you don't wear a mask. I'm going to tell you something interesting. Not that you really are interested, but I have 1.5 lungs. I lost a half a lung about 12 years ago we won't even talk about it. It's a horrible accident. Horrible. But anyway, I lost half a lung. So typically the only time right now I've had to wear epoxy, or had to wear a mask one time with one certain epoxy. Just because of me, because the breathing became difficult, okay? I do have to wear a mask or a respirator when I do acetone. It is horrible. The breathing goes, I mean, it's awful. It's an asthma attack, basically. I have what they call injury-induced asthma. Only thing that bothers it is super strong smells. Like my husband's a mechanic. We have a building or his business is in the back. But if he uses like brake cleaner or ether, something like that, I have to leave before he starts because I cannot breathe. It shuts me down. Or super hot air or hot water, like a or what do you call those? Hot tub. Yeah, you can forget that, okay? So, some people do have to wear a mask. You'll have to judge for yourself. With this ALE, oh God, I'm going to take my mask off, guys, because my hair keeps getting caught. With the ALE, I'm going to be honest, it has no smell. Even when it goes through its chemical process, meaning when it starts to get warm. A lot of you don't know, when you pour these two things together and you put it in a cup, you mix it up, you know it gets hard, but we really don't sit and think about why it gets hard. It seriously goes through a long chemical process. Some of these do. The Fast Set goes through very fast from some of the other companies I use. Some of them go through a process so quickly that I physically have watched it smoke. Just saying. It doesn't catch fire or anything, but it will smoke. Get super, super, super hot. Okay? So, if you test something, that's why I said get this free sample and see if you can wear it. Do that before you order a gallon of it. Because you don't want to order a gallon, turn out you can't use it, but something in it just really upsets your eyes or your breathing. Okay? I think it's great that they offer that because a lot of people would never think about that. You know, especially in these days and times when people are, you know, COVID, people aren't working, things like that. So let's get going. We got our ALE. I'm going to put on a super, super thin coat, guys. If you're new, I'll say it again while we're doing this. when you're doing a glitter cup, very little epoxy, a ton of glitter. It won't take a ton of glitter, but it's going to take a lot to cover this. And this looks like I'm putting on a lot, but I promise you I'm just kind of dripping in a couple spots. I don't even get to do all the way around with this because it spreads so nicely. The more you rub it, the thinner it gets. It's amazing that way. So you do get great coverage, okay? The biggest goal in mind when you do a glitter cup is when you are done with your epoxy. And you have working time with ALE, guys. It's not like fast set. Oh, really? You don't have to work super fast. I usually keep this room shut off, but I've had the door open because I've had some grandkids over here and their parents were here. But I kept it open in case they needed something while they were in here and their parents were outside. And I did get a couple flies in here. But I got one of them tennis rackets, girl, that's electrical. And I will zap one in a heartbeat. Just saying. Okay. So all I'm doing is getting this really rubbed in. The one thing about epoxy and glitter cups also, even though you're already using a minimal amount, is you want to seriously rub and spread until you know everything at the top rim and the bottom rim is covered. Sounds trivial and elementary, but the more you rub, because it's a thin coat, you can get streaks. Like my gloves are textured, so mine do it worse than some of the other latex gloves, but you can get where maybe a big bubble. Everybody knows micro bubbles are in there because you probably saw me mix as fast as a NASCAR race car. But the thing about mixing fast, and that's the other thing I wanted to tell you, is we are doing a glitter cup, guys. For an alcohol cup, alcohol ink cup, a mica cup, what am I missing? Mica, alcohol ink, any of those, you are going to want to do maybe some slower mixing to keep your micro bubbles down, okay? The reason I am using mix so fast is micro bubbles are not going to matter on a glitter cup only because they're underneath your glitter. What will matter by stirring fast and putting it on a glitter cup is going to be if you get a big micro bubble. Okay, what I'm doing now, just so you'll know what I'm doing, I'm looking to see if I have any large bubbles or if I have any dry spots, okay? But if you have a huge bubble that pops up, ALE is odd as far as an epoxy goes because the bubbles on your cup after you apply the epoxy are going to rise to the surface, and when they rise to the surface, they honestly pop on their own, okay? So when I see it come to the top, if they pop on their own, great, because these are little bubbles. Sometimes they'll create a large bubble. Large bubbles you want to pop because as you go to applying your glitter, if that bubble pops, it's going to pop your glitter out and almost create like a crater. So always make sure that your bubbles are popped. I usually, once I see everything is covered, I do hit it with a heat gun for a second, not to get a swirl or anything going, of course, but to pop the few bubbles that I do see, that I created by mixing fast, just so those bubbles don't become larger and cause a problem after I apply the glitter, okay? You see a couple of little things I want to try and wipe off if I can. Alright, so we are done that. We're going to go ahead and start with these glitters and let you see what we're doing, okay? Too thick of an epoxy in certain spots can cause your glitter to sink in the spots. Make sure, yes, exactly. You want to make sure this is a super thin coat. Like I said, this actually looks like it's a little bit too much epoxy. And somebody's going to say, how? When I have like that much left over, if you can see that. But I did it as thin as I could. I could actually go back and wipe some off and get rid of it. But we'll just go with that because that was about 5 mLs or 5. I always say 5 cc's by accident, guys. That was in the medical field. That's about 5 mLs, which is really a little bit too much for this cup. It should have been done with 2 or 3. Okay, but it is what it is now. We can't change it. All right. So let's go ahead. But I do thank you for that, Miss Jennifer, because she is right, guys. Too much. It causes many issues that you would not think that it would. Okay. So this is that Miss Jackie. This is that Pretty Gold. This, of course, will give you the gold or the sand look, okay? For the next cup, we're probably going to use real sand just so you can see how to do that. at some point, okay? I think Miss Candy's asking where everybody's from. That gives you a chance to kind of share where you're at. You never know, you might come up with a crafting buddy, okay? Somebody y'all can get together and maybe talk easier because you're local to each other. And even if you're not, guys, there are so many people out here who are willing to help you. So just keep that in mind. Y'all can start your glitter. Can y'all see this cup? Okay. I start my glitter where I want my line to stop. You put your glitter on any way you want to here, okay? I just start where I want my glitter line to stop. Now listen, another thing. You're doing a beach tumbler. This does not have to be a perfect straight line. You want some bumps and hills in it because you're at the beach. Okay, somebody's going to say, well, that's not even pretty because it's not all even. Y'all, the sand ain't even at the beach. I'm just going to keep it real. Unless you're going from high tide to low tide, or, you know, it's going to have lumps and bumps. So you're going to see me add a touch more to the top or in a spot, make like a little mound. You do what you feel comfortable. I am an OCD person, believe it or not. And this cup would drive me crazy if I didn't have in my mind mentally what I thought the beach looked like. So yes, this drives me crazy. Just gonna keep it real. But just keep that in mind. You don't want a complete straight line because the beach isn't a complete straight line. Plus it gives you ways to enter some of your white, you know, from your sea foam. It just changes it up a bit, okay? So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of shake some. I do use my paper most of the time to go ahead and glitter the bottom of my cup, okay? Real important, if you do not do the bottom of your cups, that is just fine. I'm going to keep it real with you. I started out like that. I used to tape the top and the bottom because I didn't know how to do it. I mean, how exactly do you keep it from being so sharp when you're done and you have to do all that sanding? Like, I didn't know what I was doing, guys. So I never did do the bottoms. But then the more I thought about it, and I don't charge a lot for my cups, but I thought about it and I thought, well, they're paying for a cup. I got to learn how to start doing the bottoms. I just think that's fair to somebody if they're paying the price for it. But then after I learned how to really kind of do it, and all I'm doing now is shaking it from my rolled up paper to the bottom. Sometimes you can get more centrally located as to where you're trying to place your glitter, okay? But I thought about it, I thought it's not that much harder. Doesn't really use that much more product if you really think about it. You got a very small surface area. But I just like the way they look, especially if you're making a cup for a man. Men are not straw users. They want to be able to sip out of their cup. Now, would you give a man a glitter cup? No. But your alcohol inks, your micas, man glitter, all of that, you would. So that's why I started doing the bottoms. I just felt like if I'm consistent, then people know what they're going to get. Okay? So I see a bunch of people. There are so many people from so many different places. It's amazing to me. I'm just going over the bottom one more time. What I'm going to do in just a second, because this is, it's not a fine glitter by any means. This truly, I would not categorize as chunky. This is I like to call them bold glitters. This is kind of what it's got some pieces in it that are larger, but in comparison to a chunky glitter, you can kind of see the difference, okay? But I will, on this type of glitter, go around and pat it down. What I'm doing now is just putting one more small coat to where I think it could be sticky. Because like I said, if you have too much epoxy and too little glitter, you're going to look wet. So all I'm doing is, before I change to my next color, so I'm dumping it one more time. I don't want to have to go back if I can help it. So that's the only reason I'm doing that, okay? I'm going to put this back in there, and we're going to get to the next color. If you do have a chunky or one like this, it's kind of a bolder glitter. You can see I've got stuff on my hands, but nothing too bad. No glitter. What I do is I go around with usually 2 fingers, depends on the workspace you have. Pat your glitter down. Some people are like, why is that even important? Reason I pat it down is, after this settles down and it's dry, you of course got to go back and either put some type of quick, my mind just went completely blank. You either got to put the quick coat, or some people seal it with clear paint, like a clear spray paint in a mat or whatever, to seal it, to keep it from moving. whatever. Some people go ahead like me. I put a whole nother coat of epoxy on it, usually a quick coat, just to make sure that it doesn't move and go up into other areas. But the reason I do this is 2 reasons. One, I'm not going to have to sand that when I do, because all my glitter is flat. It's not sticking up all over the place and crazy. And 2, I do it because if it's sticking to your fingers, that means you got something wet somewhere, or something's not covered, okay? So the reason I do that is, 1, I know I'm going to have to hit that again with a little bit of glitter, because I'm going to have a shiny spot somewhere because it was on my fingers, okay? So I'm going to put this to the side. We will come back with the gold, probably just to top it off and touch it up, okay? Now, somebody's going to say, why are you using this next color next when the foam should truly come next? Reason being, I want my foam to be on top of these 2 colors, okay? It's going to go on top of my gold. It's going to go on top of whatever color I choose to be second. What I'm choosing to be second, I'm actually looking at, trying to figure out. So let me take a peek at these and see which one I think is lighter. That's a holographic. I definitely do not want to use that. And I hope that other glitter did not fall, because I will die. So I'm just looking, guys. Give me a second to see which one I want to do next. I don't know where that glitter went. So I think I'm going to do this one next. Alright, guys. I'm going to do this really pretty kind of teal color. It's a very light color. Okay. And I'm going to actually skip about maybe a ½ inch to a ¼ inch. Okay. I guess, what are y'all talking about? Who long time? Is that how long, Jennifer, you've been doing cups? I'm trying to catch up with y'all because I've been talking and looking at glitters. I apologize. But y'all, I'm going to skip a space and I'm going to keep talking and watching the camera too. But you want to start out with your lightest colors going up to your darkest colors, because the ocean, the further you get, the darker it is, okay? Since I don't use heat when I'm applying epoxy to hold the glitter on, because my glitter, it can cause glitter to go all over your cup. Yes, ma'am. But that's typically what she's speaking about, and I wish I had that cup in here. Because the other day I did a cup, and I was letting my grandbabies play, and it actually was a fabric cup. I had the epoxy on, but the person wanted glitter at the top and the bottom. 2 ways you can do that. You can tape it off so your glitter stays at the top, or it stays at the bottom, or you Mod Podge it on. Well, because I had a lot of kids here that day and was not using my clear stain crafting brain, we just started putting glitter on it. And she is right. It will migrate up and down a cup if you're putting it in a certain spot. Whether you're using heat or not, just keeping it real, it will migrate. So, I totally understand what she's saying. All right, guys, I'm going to skip a spot, and I'm going with my first color. No rhyme or reason again. Remember, water has different shades and different ways all over the ocean. Oh, y'all, my hot flash fan just went out. So, we're going to take this off. My battery died. So, I'm going to put this kind of all over. This will go up about 1 inch or so. If you miss a few spots, I'm going to leave a few spots blank. Not in a line, but just lightly leave some areas showing where you can see the paint. And I went up too high. No big deal, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to make a few spots that go a little lower at the bottom than others. And there's a reason for all this retardedness, I promise. Okay? This color, y'all, I'm telling you, it is gorgeous. I can't even, because it's that teal, when it goes around the cup, I hope you can see it, it's like yellows, and it's got, it turns 40 shades, okay? And it's beautiful. I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? So I'm going to put this back in here, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing, so you won't wonder what the world I'm doing, okay? Now, y'all know I had another color that was a little darker. This is that one that has the shades. Now, this kind of goes from a yellow to the teal. This goes purple to teal. Now, what I'm going to do is go in and fill in all my spots. And y'all do this only if you want to. If you want to go light blue or teal, or light blue to teal to a light, different shades of the blues. Like I originally was just going to use those 2 colors, with the white foam and the seashells. But you can put, y'all, I've seen people doing the sunset the same way that I'm doing this. So all I'm doing is taking that one that has the purple tones, and you'll see how this kind of fills in spots. This one's very pretty. It's almost like a color shift color. But I'm kind of going in, giving me some depth to this cup. I will go up a little higher because, you know, we're trying to transition into a dark area, but not quite that really dark blue. So I am going to go up. But there's a couple spots in here that I left white. So all I'm doing is dumping a little extra glitter. Now listen, somebody's going to say you're covering up all that pretty teal. No, because once I bump it, everything that can't stick falls off. And I'm talking about there's very little areas for it to stick on. Okay? So I think I'll go up to maybe about right in here, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I'm going to leave some white spots. Somebody's going to say, why does she do that? I guess to make the transition a little easier. Okay? Jennifer, I got all these glitters from Hero Glitter from LaDonna's company. Okay? So look, guys, I've got the teal. I've got this purple and blue. I have left some gaps in here. Can you kind of see where the white is peeking through? Like right through here, right there. What I'm going to do is hit that with the darkest blue so you get another transition color, okay? But we can do the white in just a second. I don't want you to think I forgot about the white. And I got 2 tricks to show you when it comes to seafoam, okay? So this is, I call it stick, but I don't know if that's really how it's pronounced. It's S-T-Y-Q-U-E. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I don't know what it's focusing on. Probably my hands. Okay, I will be putting pictures up of these. I'm going to hit the spots where I left white showing, which is even way down here, guys, okay? And I'm going back and filling all this in. This is going to be my deepest level of the ocean. You don't have to be this frou-frou about it, guys. I'm being honest. I have yet to see a bad tumbler that's about the beach. I just haven't. They're all beautiful. I don't care if you're doing glitter, inks, or whatever. I love beach tumblers. I think it's really hard to mess up a beach tumbler. Only thing that is difficult is the foam for some people. It's hard to get it to look like not a layer and for it to truly look like foam. And there's tricks to that, but you can't make a bad beach tumbler. I'm just saying, anybody can do this. Now, I have mixed that little bit of purple and teal in with this darker blue for a reason. I promise I'm not using that much, enough to worry about. We'll put it that way, okay? I am not worried about what I have mixed down here on the bottom because it's very little I'm truly wasting. I'm just going around the rim, but not too close that I'm worried about it because I'm going to cut it off, okay? So, can everybody see that? Does that look pretty good? Okay, let's see. So, I've got 2 colors on here. I've got that that purple, teal, and the dark blue. All I'm doing is mixing it together, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. You can do it straight from your paper. You can throw this in your glitter dump. If everybody, I hope, even if you're new, a glitter dump just means you're holding on to any glitter that may get wasted. I don't care if it's 10 little pieces of glitter. The stuff's expensive, guys. So I have a glitter dump. I have several cups, actually. Let's say I've got shades that are pink, red, blue, green, whatever. But I'll take different colors that I've used that are similar or would go together, and I dump them in Dixie cups. So I probably have 30 cups, I'm looking up on my shelf, of different mixed glitters that will go together. You know what I'm saying? And they turn out to be a whole new glitter, something you can't buy, and they work. So all I'm doing now, guys, so you know, hey, Miss Elaine, I'm just going on the top. I am tapping my chunky stuff back down so you don't have to worry about it sticking up and being sharp or having to cut it later. Then I'm also patting it down, again, with the 2 fingers to see if I've got any sticky parts that maybe I'm going to need another coat. And also to not have to sand this cup later because of the sharp, chunky glitter that's standing up. Now, guys, I'm going to keep it real with you. I still see spots underneath because I used a white base cup. Okay? So that's what this mix is for. I'm going to go from the bottom all the way up to the top with this little bit of mix. There, it looks like a lot of blue, so I'm going to keep it real simple because I pretty much got that covered down there real well. But this is basically to cover up any white that I still see standing. Somebody's going to say, oh my God, she's covering up that pretty glitter again. I can't believe she's doing it. Remember, guys, it is not going to stick to anything that's not wet. So mostly the only place you're going to see it are those few little spots that you have white showing through, or the few spots that you felt were sticky. And y'all saw my fingers, so there's not that many. Okay? All these glitters are Hero glitters. There are a few glitters that she's not carrying anymore. I was hoping she'd stay on, but I know it's the weekend, guys, and it's beautiful. She lives not far from me. And sometimes you just want to be outside with your family, and I get that. And if you can, and you were caught up on your cups, girl, I commend you, because I'm not. So, y'all, this is not a particular color. I'm going to absolutely save this and put it in a dump glitter for something very similar in the next. Like if I do another one of these cups, a beach theme, I've already got some started as a mix, okay? So I'm going to dump that little shavings in there. I'm going to flatten this down, then we're going to do the foam. And I'm going to show you 2 ways you can do your foam. Somebody's going to say there's 2 ways to do a foam. There is and isn't. I haven't ever seen anybody do it this way, but I have seen people do a trick to do something different. And I'll tell you what I mean in just a second. So, guys, can y'all kind of see the transition we got going here? Okay. So, only place we have left with epoxy on it is, of course, everywhere you see the white. So, here's the trick I was talking about. I just got to move some stuff around so I don't knock something over. I am going to use a small mixing cup. Okay. It might be that I have to do a little more, but I want to do that so you can see something. This is the Ace, again, by Hero Glitter. Really pretty. Has some pink and blue, kind of turquoise looking spots. You can see it more in the light. But it isn't like an opal iridescent, okay? Now, I'm going to put so many here, all the way up. This is going to be my shake. I want to show y'all something. This is the thing I was telling you about. If you watched my live just 30 or 45 minutes ago on my page, you'll see that I already showed this trick. So if you did, you won't have to watch again. But remember, foam's usually going to be that white shade that you see on all tumblers. I've mixed just a little bit of that opalescent. I don't want to waste this. You can still use it later. Let's put it that way, okay? This is something you can use later. You just have to put it in a separate bag because it does have alcohol ink in it. Somebody say, alcohol ink? What in the world is she fixing to do? So, I don't know if I threw that other away. I bet I did. I used a little bit on the last one and I didn't save it, but I do not. Oh, look at there. It's right here. I'll show you in a minute. White alcohol ink, doesn't matter what kind you use. This is actually something that I got off of, I think, Yvonne Perry's page. I'm not sure. But anyway, y'all, this is a little trick that I saw done. I'm not sure if I have to cut this. This was brand new. I just got it out of the bag. So I'm going to cut it real quick because I'm not sure. And if I have a big hole, so be it. I just do. Oh, okay. It's cut now. My goodness, it's cut. All right, what else saying? I just bought that. What'd you buy, baby? Melissa, what'd you buy? I gotta know, because you do some pretty stuff too now, lady. You've been around a minute. So, y'all, I'm just putting some white alcohol ink in with my glitter. Somebody's gonna say, what is she thinking? Okay? And I'll show you why I'm doing it in a second. Y'all are gonna be amazed. And then I'm gonna show you what I did on my last live so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, when you put alcohol ink in glitter, somebody say, why would you even do that? Like, I didn't know you would want to do that. So, I'm going to show you the color difference in the two of these as soon as I mix it up. Alcohol ink evaporates very quickly, you know, because it's alcohol. But it does stain. So keep that in mind, okay? And I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, that's pretty darn good. So, it's the same glitter, okay? Same glitter I just shared with you guys. I'm sorry, my sinuses are crazy. This is that really pretty pearl iridescent. And I actually probably need to put it on something of color. I'm trying to find something really quick like. Because all I've got is my pink post-it notes that I use inside my tumblers. But I'm going to show you. Okay. Let me put this on here and then I'll pick it up. And show you what I'm talking about. This sounds wasteful timing. I know. Okay. But there's a reason. I promise. I promise. I promise. Guys. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. So this is the pearl, the opalescent with the white alcohol ink on it. This is the opalescent without. So it does give you a tint. Now somebody's going to say, don't see the big deal. So this is what I'm going to show you. If you use blues or anything else, this is that pearlescent with no alcohol ink. This is the same thing with magenta in it. Same glitter, just with magenta alcohol ink. Gave me a little different shade. Let's say you're doing something, guys, and you look down and you're like, what happened to that glitter? I had the whole bottle's gone. What am I going to do now? You know, Hobby Lobby's closed. It's going to take 48 hours to get, it'll take 5 days to get something by mail. What do? It's just a real quick way to change up your coloring, okay? That's the only reason I found it fascinating, because, guys, I cannot tell you how many times, for some reason, and it never fails, whether it's the granddaughters getting into my glitter and not asking first, or something happens, and the one color you need, you don't have. Guys, y'all can make your own. That's what I find fascinating about it, okay? No big deal. Just a cute little thing. All right, so we have, awesome. Somebody saying they were almost from Lake Michigan. I was born in St. Clair, Michigan. All right, guys, so I've got my two colors. I got my white and the opalescent. Now, again, this is dry, okay? Dry to the touch. And the reason I know that it's not sticking on my popsicle stick. But I'm going to mix the two together, the opalescent with the white. The reason being, I don't have a white opalescent. And I want to use that for my seafoam, okay? So all I've taken is the two. I'm mixing them together. And I'm going to show you why here in about 2 seconds, okay? I know this seems tedious, but it does do something different, I don't know, than just the opalescent. I'm going to show you why. We'll see if we can get it to come back. I'm going to put a little clear. This is just the clear opalescent, okay? I'm going to go that far with it. We're going to wait for it to come back around, and I'm just going to show y'all, okay? So here's my iridescent, okay? It's pretty, but it's not that white that you would think seafoam would have, okay? So now we're going to take this that I created, and we're going to dump it past it so you can see the two differences, and then we're going to fix it the way we want it to be, okay? So this is the white. Now, it does look kind of chunky. You do have to pat this down to lay flat. So there's the iridescent. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to start back here again. Remember, we kind of made big gaps and little gaps along the way. You guys stop. Sorry, I got, I think 4 of my 5 dogs in here with me. I'm just going to pat this down as it goes. Where the cup does not want to take it means that it's dry. So if you bump it and it looks funny, it's okay. Okay, bump this down, make it flat. And then I'm going to pop it so it'll kind of come off where it's not needed. Okay. All right. So, just so you can see, and I left a really small section, I apologize. So starting right here is the white, okay? This is all the white opal color that we dyed. Starting here is just opal. Some people may like that better. It's totally whatever you like the best. But it does make a difference in the color, okay? I do like that it's the opal color, basically because it gives that sparkle and shimmer that a glitter cup should have, okay? All I'm doing is putting it on, packing it down. What doesn't want to stay falls off, okay? Then once I know it's good, I kind of go back and just touch it a little bit, and what doesn't need to stay so it looks mounded, I can take right off, okay? Then I'm going to do this for a second, then I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Y'all can decide for yourself what you would like to do, okay? Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'll set this to the side. My dogs are crazy, y'all. They are absolutely crazy. Trying to find my next piece of little equipment, and then we're going to go right on to the next. I'm just taking the butt end of a brush, making sure that this is flat. Some of them, because I didn't let it dry completely, was a little tacky. And all I'm doing is pressing it down, and then I'm going to wipe off the excess, okay? Pressing it's the biggest thing, so you don't have to do any sanding. Guys, hey, listen, Pumpkin, come here, come here, come here. You stay right here and tell Jinx to leave you alone because she's crazy. Alright guys, all I'm going to do is see if I can get anything that needs to come off. I'm doing this very gently because it's still damp. Okay, remember we're using ALE and not fast set. Okay, so does everybody see kind of what we accomplished here? Not really, doesn't look good, don't like it. What y'all think? I'm going to swipe my comments. I think it froze at some point. We're just going to look at it, okay? So there you go, guys. All of these are LaDonna's colors. I'm just tapping down my chunky again. Super, super love the idea of that teal to blue. It does break up the colors. This right here, girls, I could never figure out what I was going to make with that, but it is gorgeous. Perfect for sand. Like, absolutely perfect, okay? I'm going to pick this up. I'm actually going to put it in my beach colors. Somebody's going to say, why? Because it's got that white to it. It's because I like it. Just saying. So I'm going to save that because I didn't empty my paper in between. I saved everything, y'all. Like I said, I got about 30 cups over here with mixed colors in it, and I work on mixing it up later. But I do like to save everything. So, that's that. And some reason, sitting here talking to you, I see I need just a little bit more on the edges. Anybody have any questions about that? On the beach look. Yes. Now, let me tell you something. This is what I was going to tell you. It's going to be hard to tell you once we start working on the alcohol cup. So now that I see that this one's pretty much done, we're getting ready to swap places. I do want to tell y'all this. Some people basically just take this cup, let it dry. They will put their next coat of what I call my flood coat. I'll make sure nothing's sticking up. If it is, I kind of brush it off to make it to where the next coat of epoxy will be super smooth and I don't have to sand and do anything else. But once you get your next coat of epoxy on and it's dry, then you're ready for your decaling, whether it's water slide, temporary tattoos, vinyl work, whatever you want to do. And we can do lives on those if you want to. You just have to send me or LaDonna a message and let us know what you'd like to see next. But once you get to that point, the cool thing about this is there's two things I've seen people do. They leave it like this. They do their artwork, put their final clean their rims and do their final coat of epoxy. Good to go. Okay. Or I have seen this really cool. I've done Dawn dishwash tumblers before, where you basically, this sounds scary. Somebody's going to say that sounds scary as a devil. But you are past this point, you got your cover on it. If you're doing a peekaboo, you can do that. It would have had to have been done prior to what I'm telling you. But basically what you're doing is when you have a smooth surface, you're going to spray Dawn dishwashing. It has to be the, and I can't reach it. It has to be the concentrate that comes in a foam. When you spray it, it foams. But you're going to spray Dawn foam, the Dawn dishwashing foam, all over this cup, but from a distance. If you want to concentrate on an area, of course, do it close, but from a distance to where it leaves like bubble spots all over your cup. And then you take the color. Most people are doing the beach tumblers with white spray paint. So then they spray it with white spray paint immediately. As soon as you spray the Dawn concentrate on your cup and you have what you want to look like, you spray the white spray paint on it immediately, guys. And then you go straight to the hose. And I do mine outside. I do this part outside because of the spray paint. Once you put the hose on it, it basically, seriously, takes the paint where all the Dawn bubbles are and you can see through it. So that's how people are doing foam on tumblers. I hope that makes sense. Power wash. Thank you. My mind went completely blank, Jennifer. But it's the Dawn Power Wash. So you do it immediately, guys. You put the spray on. I do mine from a distance to get my little holes or the spots to be a little smaller. But you can do it in globs. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Spray paint the whole cup white. And immediately go to the hose and rinse it off. And they are gorgeous. The white looks like seafoam. And then they have their decal or whatever they want to put right here in this area. Guys, can you come here, please? Because you being crazy. Jinx. Get over here. I got two dogs, and they're like mad little bad sisters. They don't like each other, but then they love each other. So all they do is get under. I have a tanning bed in this room over in the corner. They get in this room and get under the tanning bed and start banging around, barking at each other. So I apologize for the noise. I think I'm so oblivious to it that I forget that y'all can hear it. Sounds like a lot of moaning is what you hear. Just keeping it real. So y'all, this is done. I'm going to set this off to the side. We are running out of time. We're not really running out of time. I got all night. If my husband looks in this window and sees the light still on in here, he's going to know I'm still talking. All right. Me either. Welcome back. What did I miss? There you go. All right. So we are going to put, that's Miss LaDonna, guys. If y'all don't know LaDonna, I'm putting a name with a face. LaDonna White right there is the creator of this group, y'all. She started this group many moons ago. I kind of joined her when we had, I don't know, LaDonna, what was it, 200 or 300 people, I guess. But I'm going to tell you, I think because we have no judgment, no drama, no whatever, the group grew really, really fast, which we were thankful for. But at the same time, we picked up a few stragglers along the way that wanted to be dramatic and talk about people's work. And that's not what we're here for, guys. So she since has reopened it back, which I'm so thankful for. And things have been going amazing so far. So just want to let you know that is Miss LaDonna. If you have any questions, she's the moderator, or not moderator, what not? Creator of the group, not moderator. All right, guys, so this was our Panthalon cup. I think I'm going to have to move my camera. You're not going to see me, but that's a blessing for you guys, okay? I'm going to turn it down just a hair. Can y'all see this cup? I see my hand, so hopefully y'all can. If you are curious, if you can't see this, let me give y'all a little hint in case you're not real big on lives or you haven't watched that many. Swipe your comments to the right and you'll be able to see the whole screen, or turn your camera sideways where it's a long view and you can see better. This is our cup we're going to do the alcohol inks on. And somebody's going to say, I see gaps in your paint. Yes, but guys, this Panthalon paint, that's your base. That's your prep. You don't have to do all that other. Very fast, very cute, okay? Come here right now. If I have to do this cup with you on my lap, you ain't no different from a child. Jinx, I want you to let go of her. Stop. Stop. Come here, pumpkin. All right, guys, you're fixing. Y'all know I do lives with my kids in my lap. Don't think I don't do this. Quit. She's a non-shedding breed, though, just to make y'all feel better, okay? She doesn't shed, but she's going to have to sit up here because she's goofy. She is my 50 Shades of Grey dog. She's mixed with everything. Pomeranian Terrier. We don't know what else. If you jump down, you're on your own. Don't bark and growl and fuss no more. Thank you. But I got, all my dogs are rescue dogs pretty much. I do have one. This is getting a little warm. I don't know if I trust this. So, this is that ALE. I don't know how long we've been talking. I could probably still use it for my alcohol ink tumbler. But it is getting warm. Remember I told you this is about a 4-hour ride before it's hard. So, that was awful. Anyway, I think I'm just going to mix some more to do the alcohol ink. And somebody's going to say, why would you do that? It's still drippy. Reason being is once this stuff, any epoxy, starts getting warm, it's going through its chemical phase, and you add a little bit more heat to it, it sets up pretty quick. So I'm not willing to gamble this getting too hard to move, if anybody understands what I'm talking about. So yes, this is still liquidy. It is getting warm. It's getting ready to go through its process. But I'm not willing to risk the alcohol ink cup and being able to move the inks, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it off to the side, and we'll just mix some more in a minute, okay? I'm going to let y'all know what I'm doing the whole time. I'm just moving some stuff around so I can get to the next part. I'm getting 2 more measuring cups, of course, for my epoxy, okay? I got my big cup to pour it in, make it easier. A stir. I did put an epoxy cup over here with some white alcohol ink. If it doesn't evaporate before then, I'll show you why I did that. That's, of course, going to be for our foam. I'm going to pull out some colors that I'm going to use for my ocean. Okay, and I'm going to show you everything we're doing. Hey, can you guys stop? I should have put y'all out. I got a gate that I usually put them out there in, guys, so I apologize. But sometimes on the weekends, they just come in here with me. But when they get like they're acting right now, you kind of want to hurt them. Y'all, I had all these colors pulled out just a second ago. And for some reason, I threw them all back in here. Now, if somebody can tell me why I would have done that. This is the other thing I want to show y'all in just a second, guys. I'm going to pull out a few extra things. Because alcohol inks, I have a whole nother spiel I do on alcohol inks that I like to share with people, because some people have never worked with alcohol inks either. So I do like to just let you know some little tips to the trade on alcohol inks, okay? You can mix different companies' alcohol inks. Just saying, if there's a color you like better in the blue, but you like this and the other brand, you can mix them, okay? I do need to find just a couple, like 2 more colors. And I apologize, I keep them right in front of me when I'm using them. But I did put some up. So, Give me a second. And I apologize. I'm usually a whole lot more organized. That's another thing people complain about with me. Is one, not only do I talk nonstop, but sometimes I'm not as organized as other people, and you'll have that. But you know what? When you've got this many animals and grandbabies and distractions and husbands out there trying to make you laugh, this is what you get. It's real life. You're going to tune in one day, and I promise you, you're going to see one of my grandchildren in my lap while I'm doing a live. It's just real life, guys. This is how my life rolls, okay? So I've got everything out. This is what I was going to tell you about alcohol inks. And I can't find the other one I was going to show you, but it was a Bria Reese. Here it is. I found it just now as we were talking. So, alcohol inks. These, I hope nobody notices what I'm doing until I can tell you. So, these look exactly the same. It's Bria Reese alcohol inks. Okay, I use Pinatas. I use Jacquards. I use J Rangers. I'll use anybody. Marabou, it doesn't matter. But I went into Hobby Lobby one day looking for another wood grain color, because I do a lot of wood grains and patinas and whatever. But I was looking for them, and I saw this, y'all. It was a pack of 5. It had, like, beautiful colors. And it was 5 inks for, like, $2. And I snatched it up. I'm looking around, making sure nobody tries to grab it out of my buggy, because that's a deal if y'all do alcohol inks. But anyway, I'm like, oh, we're going to do something with that when we get home, because I love yellow and pink. Well, I get home. I'm going to put these up here. This did not come in the pack. It is alcohol ink. This was in the pack. Watercolor ink. Watercolor ink can be used on some cups, pardon my dogs, under epoxy, okay? You cannot use watercolor inks after I put epoxy on this cup, because it's going to repel away, okay? Make sure when you're buying inks, if you're doing it where you want it to swirl and harden like that, that all of them are an alcohol ink. Great deal. Doesn't mean I can't use it in a different way. But I can't use that on top of epoxy, okay? It's going to repel off because it's a watercolor. They also come in looks like this. This is another watercolor ink that I could have told you different was alcohol ink, okay? So they come in different kinds. Come here. Now, they're getting tired, and I know y'all are too. You're tired of listening to me ramble. So, we're going to do this alcohol ink cup real quick, and then we're going to be done, guys, okay? So, again, I'm using the ALE. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. For y'all, I know I shouldn't, because ALE is my go-to. I know it is Miss LaDonna's go-to. I know she loves ALE. But I am going to show you something just because. And I know y'all are ready to get back to your families. It's probably way past dinner. Oh, yeah, it's way past dinner. Counterculture has a fast set. The only reason I'm throwing that out here is because of time constraints I have with this particular cup. Okay? This is one of those, unfortunately, I take on some orders and they have to be ready in a week. So I have to truly finish this cup in 3 or 4 days so it can cure for the 3 days before I deliver it. Okay? You do, just in case, I don't know if I shared this in this live or the previous live, but y'all, your cups, almost every epoxy out there, except for one company I know of, it's 72-hour cure time. Cure time means hard, able to touch, be able to mail without damaging the cup. If you are not letting your cups cure for the 72 hours, you're going to have a problem, and they're going to call you back and say something's wrong with my cup. I got fingerprints in it. I got, what do you call this? The bubble wrap circles all on my cup. It's because you mailed it too early. Okay, and it does happen. It's happened to me because I didn't know that. I knew it, but I didn't think it was important. But I learned the hard way. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, this will be dry to the touch soon, but it's not ready to ship. It still has to sit for a while before you can ship it. It has to cure. Difference between dry time and cure time. Okay, let me get on this. Let's see. Somebody's asking about cups. I'll be honest, guys. Listen. I think you're talking about this tumbler is your job. I actually, I was an OR nurse forever and ever. Like, we'll say 30 years. I did work in some doctor's offices. I branched off, like, later in life because I got tired of taking call. I'm one of them people that likes to sleep at night. I don't want to be woke up for something that could have been, and that's ugly. I shouldn't even say that because you're not supposed to be judgmental as a nurse. But over 30 years, if you've got a gunshot wound, And you know that that is very, very important to be there for. But you know you're going to be there for about 6 hours and you've only had an hour's sleep. I got to a point where I couldn't do it. I do have lupus and some other issues, but I couldn't do it. It was making me sick. So I worked in some doctor's office, blah, blah. So when, you know, I did that for a long time, and now I don't work. I keep children, which somebody's like, that's a piece of cake. Let me tell you, I'd rather go back to work sometimes. But I love my grandbabies, so don't twist that either. But this is basically, this is a fun thing for me to do, but it's a business. I mean, I do run this as a business. I sell cups. I make cups. I do whatever. I go to the jockey lot is what they call it, or the market at the mill, which is like an indoor event. I'll do an auction. On my page, sometimes I'll do cups and I'll auction off cups. Or sometimes somebody will say something in a group, in the message and during the live, and I'll just say, well, that cup wasn't for something, and I'll just PM them later and say, give me your address, because I'm going to mail you that cup. I mean, it just depends, but I am just like y'all. This is really a business to make side money. My husband pays all the bills. I won't say anything different, so I never tell him what to buy with his own money. But when I make cups, if I make enough, it's usually either to keep this going, to be able to afford all the product, or save some money up and we go on vacation, because he never gets a good vacation. And therapy. Somebody mentioned therapy just now. Girl, hey, Miss Missy. Y'all, that's my other friend. That's my husband's ex-girlfriend. But she's family. Just don't let anybody forget that. But she has a cup business called Cutie Pies. C-U-T-I-E Pies. And she does some lives too. So, and y'all may do lives in your group. I'm not just calling her out because she's here. I want you to know I get it. Everybody does their own thing. But I just wanted you to know that, you know, we're all doing this probably for business, therapy, relaxation. Get out of the room where everything's going on and just have some peace and quiet. But I think it is definitely extra income for everybody. I haven't met anybody. I started this out just... Stop whining. Stop, Jinx. I started out doing these just for family. And then before I knew it, it grew like this. So now it's definitely more than just for family. But I think we all do this for our own little reasons. And I think it's an amazing thing to do. Because it's definitely calming. We'll just put it that way. Alright guys, alcohol inks. I'm going to work faster than I did a while ago. Just so you know. I'm going to put much more epoxy on this cup. And somebody's going to say, why? It's fast set, blah, blah, blah. The reason I put a ton of epoxy on an alcohol ink cup is, guys, you're going to want this cup to move. When you start adding your inks and adding your heat, it has to move to create the swirls and stuff that you want, okay? That's the only reason I say minimal glitter or minimal epoxy on a glitter cup, is it's not going anywhere. And the more epoxy you use, the more glitter you're going to use. So this truly is, this may not even be enough. I might have to mix up some more here right quick like. And you know what I did? I'm sitting here trying to think what I use. This is my counterculture. So I apologize. I have to smell it. Each one of my epoxies has a different smell. And I can tell what's what by the smell. Is it strong and I need that mask on? No, it's not. But you do, I can tell the difference in the smells of some of these epoxies. And somebody's going to say, that's crazy. How can you do that? I guess just using them for so long. So I'm going to mix just a little more. That's not going to be enough for what I'm doing. So, and I'm going to show you another trick. I'm going to mix way more than I need. Because I'm going to share with you guys, if you've never used Fast Set. Now, I want to say this as a disclaimer. If you are new to the epoxy world and you've never used a quick set, whether it's KS Resin, Counterculture, I'm trying to think of other people that might have the Fast Set. I know there's a Fast Set now. I don't know what brand it is, but they're selling in Hobby Lobby and Michael's, somebody told me. I have not seen it, have not tried that, but they said it is a quick set. The reason I wanted to tell you this, y'all, is I'm going to be honest. You get very minimal working time with a Fast Set. This will be hard in about 15 minutes. And when I say hard, I'm being serious. I will show you. That was the reason for mixing a little more. I'm going to show you what this looks like in 15 minutes in the cup. So before you do a big project, please make sure you're comfortable with doing glitter, especially glittering. If you're doing a multi-glitter color cup, you're going to have to work so fast, guys, or the glitter will not stick to it, okay? Just saying. And there's other things I wish I could share with y'all right now about the glitter cups, but, I mean, there's so many ways to get your glitter to stick to a cup. We won't even go there, but we're going to work on this alcohol ink. But I want you to see how fast Fast Set works, because somebody's not going to believe it. Yes, I'm doing an alcohol ink with Fast Set, but we are going to work super fast, okay? Let me get this mixed up. Isn't that glitter beach cup pretty? It's actually got like 3 shades to the ocean, and then it had an opalescent pearl, looks like that, and then I add a little bit of white alcohol ink just to change the color up just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to mix this up real quick. We're going to heat it up, pop some bubbles. I got to put some more on this cup. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to pour some of the epoxy in my white alcohol ink that I put in that cup a while ago I told you about. Because I do my white at the end. Okay? So I'm going to put some more right here. Remember, you'll need a good bit of epoxy on here. Doesn't mean you kill it with 30 cc's, or excuse me, 30 milliliters. But you want enough that once you add heat, that it's going to be able to start to move. If I was to do 10 mLs of epoxy on this cup and add heat to it, you're going to come out with fish eyes. You're going to come out with blank spots where it gets dried up and will not move. You're not going to be able to do much with it. Okay? So I'm just looking to make sure I do have enough and I don't have any dry spots. There's a little spot here. It needs to be touched again. And I think that's good. I'm going to set this in the corner. Okay? Take this off. But I am going to put a popsicle stick in it. Okay? Because I want to come back in a few minutes and show you that Fast Set. Okay? Let me mix this up. This is that white. I'll show you how to use that in a minute. Okay? Just white with epoxy poured in it. I'm going to heat this up. Pop some of these bubbles. Bubbles in a alcohol ink cup are going to show. Keep that in mind. It's not like having bubbles under your glitter, because you're not going to see that because it's covered with glitter. Remember, you do want to pop the big bubbles that you're seeing, because it can make a dry spot on a glitter cup and you're not going to get glitter coverage. So we're just heating this up real quick, popping these bubbles. Remember, it's Fast Set. You still don't have long to work. Okay. Now, I usually start with my darkest color. I do an off kick of this cup that I can show you later, but this is an ocean cup, so that's what we're working to get. I have Baja. Where's my other glue? See, I'm gonna run out of time. Watch this. Here it is. So I'm gonna start with a sapphire blue. Okay. I shake up everything. Okay. Somebody's gonna say why. Sometimes these get unmixed. Can y'all see this cup good? All right. Couple spots of the dark blue here. Okay. I'm just kind of doing in layers because we're going to add a few off shades here and there. So that is the Baja, that's sapphire blue. I will take a picture of these so you know what I've used, okay? It's not going to be a secret. I'll take a picture of the colors. This is what they call a Baja blue. A little bit different. When it starts to wander around, it's a little lighter, okay? I'm going to heat this. Well, it's still pretty warm. We're good. So I'm going to do, this is a lake blue. Totally different company, but it does have another different effect. You might not think it has a different shade to it. You can put some everywhere. It doesn't matter, guys. Okay? Doesn't matter where you put it. It's not going to matter. Remember, it is a beach cup. We had talked about putting sand on this cup. So I'm only going to a certain level. But if it goes down and migrates, you're going to be fine, I'll promise. Because I'm going to show you what we're going to do to fix it. That is a Caribbean blue. I have not used this color. This is actually a new color that I found. Oh, hold on. So, I'm going to put it on a piece of paper. Because I want to see, it's pretty. I want to see what it's going to look like. I put like three drips there. That was a lot. Just saying. So, you can see the different shades once it comes around here. And I put them everywhere, guys. It doesn't have to be in a particular area. Now, I'm going to do a little turquoise. Is this turquoise? This is mermaid, actually. It's we're going to put a couple spots because you know your ocean's not the same color all over the place. And this is more like a teal, not even a teal, like a ocean green, I guess. And you can put them all over the place, guys, okay? Don't be consistent to one area. That's all I'm going to say. Then we'll do, how about pool? This is a pool. This is going to be a really light blue. Okay. Now we're going to do, but it actually comes out almost like a light blue green, but it is very pretty. We'll put a couple drops up here. I got a lot, but we're going to leave it like that. Okay. Not much of that because you want more of the blues. Now, if you're still not great with it and you want to add a little bit here and there, there are some, anytime you do an alcohol ink and you hear this, that means it's a metallic, guys. Two things about metallic. Two things about a metallic. One, they don't like a lot of heat. Okay. Two, metallic means they're going to have a shimmer or a glitter to them. So by putting this on here, it does also change the depth of the cup, meaning different shades. But it's also going to add a shimmer. If you don't want any kind of shimmer, I'm not talking about like a glitter, just a shimmer. Okay. It's going to change that. But you got to be real careful with metallics. They don't like a lot of heat. All right. So that one's done. If you want to, they make this thing. It's called a silver additive. You have to shake the doo-doo out of it. I'm just keeping it real because it settles to the bottom. I'll even drop a couple drops of this on there so you see what it looks like. Okay. This is going to give you an opalescent. It is white. Okay. And this actually is dropping. Yeah, there it is. Okay. It was dropping like a watercolor, so I had to check. It's actually an additive, and you're supposed to mix it with a color. So I'm not using a lot of that. It's going to spin around in a minute when I add the heat. And add just a shade of the shimmer to it, okay? Last thing you're going to do, get your white drizzles, what I call it. It's your white epoxy, or white alcohol ink with your epoxy, okay? We're going to heat this cup up, and we're going to put that on when we're done using heat. See, I didn't do the bottom half because that's where your sand's going to go when this dries. So all I'm going to do is keep this moving. The trick to this stuff, just keeping it real, if you get this too hot, it's going to scorch it. And when you scorch it, I may have a cup over there that I have scorched that I can show you. What you're trying to do, guys, is you're trying to just create movement, okay? Once this thing looks like it's starting to run or take place where it's starting to move, you want to get the heat off of it. Okay, if you don't, you're going to wind up like scorching it or causing other issues in it. And if I see that it needs a little more color, I'm going to do it after I heat it. Because once I pull this heat off, I'm not going back to it. Somebody's going to say, why would you not? Because I've just seen it mess up too often and cause problems, okay? Counterculture also dries fast, so I'm not going to have an opportunity to really heat this again. Alright, so we're going to leave that there. Somebody's going to say, wow, that didn't look like enough. But I promise you it is. I like the way that silver's doing. I might even add some more of that, only because I'm just crazy that way. Let's see who's talking. Am I the only one talking? Are the lives back? Yes, ma'am. I've been gone for a long time. Y'all, this is just white drizzle. Somebody's going to say, oh, I'm not good with that. It doesn't matter. Drizzle this anywhere you want it. Usually for a beach tumbler, it does better if you go like horizontally, but you can do it any way you want. Now somebody's gonna say, why in the world would you use that? It looks like it's messing up. Basically gives you your white caps in the ocean after it swirls around and gets a little warm, okay? Then we'll do this again, of course, after we add the sand. But just to kind of stop the run so much, I do put a wider broad white streak right here where I stop. Only if you're using sand, guys. You don't have to stop here if you're not using sand, okay? But I'll do a wider spread of this, and I'll show you why in a second. And because it's warm, you're going to see it drip to the paper. I'm going to add something, guys, because this right here is amazing. I love the way it looks. If you don't want any kind of shimmer, you want it to really look more like an ocean, don't add this, but I love the tiny streaks that it is putting. It's almost like the finest line you could ever draw in alcohol inks of silver. I love it. You might not. I don't know. I got one piece of glitter that fell out of the sky. on this tumbler, so I gotta get it off. And it's gonna be all right. I don't know where that even came from, but it is on there. This is my crafting dress. Just so you know, I don't wear this in public because it's got spots all over it. But I wanted y'all to know that that's why I'm wiping. That's not what will come off there. I'll have to pick that off later. I have a small pick I use to pick out any glitter that may be on this. I am heating this back up just a hair because I am going to drop just a little tiny bit more blue, but not much. Okay, I'm just doing your white caps right now. I'm going to hold this up in the air. I need a little more blue right there. For some reason. I just feel like I do. And right there. Alright guys, we're just going to swirl this. Okay. After we get it to where it's rolling pretty good, then I'm going to blow my white caps up. My dogs are so bad. Y'all stop. Come here. Stop it. Okay. I apologize, guys. I'm trying to do 3 lives today for some friends of mine that have other groups, but I don't know if I'm going to make the 3rd live today just because of the dogs, and I think they're being bad because they got a potty. From this, all I'm doing is blowing from where I put it on and blowing up. So as this sets, you kind of get some of your white cap effect, but it also semi-stops the color from going down your cup. Does that make sense? I'm still getting some run, and it's going to be just fine, okay? Still got some spots there I'm not crazy about. But it is what it is. We can fix it. If you have a real bad spot that you don't like, you can always cover it with a decal. Like I got a big hole there. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to show you something. And this is just to let you know that I make mistakes too. I'm going to reverse this, but I'm still going to... Actually, this is my turner. It doesn't reverse. That's awesome. But I'm going to show you what I did. See what y'all think. See if y'all can figure it out. Somebody already knows. And they know who it is. But, you see right here? I'm going to point it out again. It's coming around. And if I could reverse it, it would stop it. See how this looks like a line of color? Where this looks kind of mottled together? The reason I got a line is it got too hot. If I could turn this and make it reversible, but I think this is my oldest turner that I've had forever, and I burnt the reverse up in it. But that got too hot. That's why it looks like a line. This looks kind of so pretty, and I can always fix that a little bit later, okay? But it's got more white than it should blue, and the ocean doesn't look so much like that. So this could be fixed. I'm just saying it can. That's the one downfall to Fast Set, and I'm going to tell you why. This is that Fast Set, guys. That cup is hot. Okay, this cup is hot. This will actually be so hard I could pull it out of the cup in about probably 3 to 4 minutes. It'll be hot. And sometimes I've seen it melt my little cups. Quit. Stop, Brad. So I'm not going to add any more white. I'm not going to add any other colors. I've got a couple things that are trying to happen right in here. And what I say by happen, I'm going to see if I can show you one. It actually covered itself up. But this is where you would get fish eyes. And fish eyes, and overlook that piece of pink glitter. Like I said, I'll get it off later. Fish eyes are where your alcohol ink dries too fast. A bubble may have been in the process, or you didn't have enough epoxy. And it puts kind of like a crater or a pop mark that's dry. Sometimes you can go back in with your alcohol ink and touch it and fix that problem. But sometimes what happens is you can touch it. Like I'm going to show you. I'll touch somewhere with this blue glitter. Now it's almost dried up. I'll put it right here. Okay, so it's going to run down. Now you know it's here. Stop, Jinx. It's going to be running that way. But the cup is not as hot. See the look? So if you're using a Fast Set, don't try and fix it at this point. You can add a little heat, but it's going to ruin it and make it look like this. I'm going to show you. I'm doing this for you really because I'm not happy about this cup. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it. But I am going to show you what happens if you try and add heat. So it's going to come around here in a second, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then we're going to break loose because these animals are bad. This is what it looks like. See where the white dots are in the middle? It's because it's too set. It's not going to fix. It's okay. Doesn't mean you can't do another coat of epoxy over this when it dries and do it again. You're just going to get layers and depth to it, okay? All right. Loving it. I appreciate you. I know instantly if I'm going to like a cup. This right here will do great with the sand because you got so many, still color there, but you got that. But I will come back. I actually can do it now. You can add your sand now because it's still sticky. But the reason I don't when it's sticky is you can get what we were talking about earlier. I'm not sure if it was this group or another one. You can get runoff, which means that sand will creep its way about halfway up this cup. And I don't want that. I usually do the sand in a separate. Okay, just so you know. But so far, that's that one. This is the glitter cup. I can't say I like either one better. Right now, I'm not super happy about that one because I don't like the way some of this did. A little bit too much white right there. Just some colors, but I do like the transition of the colors, okay? This one's a little different because I absolutely am mad crazy about those colors together. Thank you, Miss LaDonna White at Hero Glitter, for the colors because that's gorgeous, just saying, okay? If y'all have any questions, okay, please feel free to send me a message. The other ladies who are admins in the group, I know LaDonna, we're all busy at one time or another, but we always have time for questions. If you feel like you need that to be answered, send me a PM. I have no problems helping you through anything, any of that, okay, guys? We've been on here a minute. I did promise Miss Yvonne Perry that I'm going to go live in her group tonight. I am still going to try and hold true to that as long as my husband stays in the shop. I'll do it. But I will tell you this. Listen, I have my little precursor. I say it every live. And I say it only because I believe it with my whole heart. You don't have to listen to this point because the live is over. But I just want to tell y'all something. We all bleed the same. We're all the same people on the inside. All our insides are made the same. And I am the most non-judgmental person in the world. And I find it an absolute blessing to myself to make sure that if I see somebody who has that frown on their face, or they look like they're really thinking about something. You can tell what I think because I don't have no Botox, but you just look like there's something on their mind or their heart is heavy. It doesn't hurt anybody just to say, those are the coolest shoes I've ever seen in my life. Or I love your hair. That is awesome shirt. Just something. Pay a compliment to somebody because it's a blessing for you too, believe it or not. Because what you put out into the universe comes back to you tenfold. Just saying. But I just want everybody to be nice and know that your legacy as a person is going to carry forward. Either somebody in your family is going to do the same thing because they saw you do it, or one day when we're not here, somebody's going to go, you might not remember my name, but you will say that lady or something, and you'll remember that I just firmly believe you should treat everybody the same. Have patience in your heart, and that's hard nowadays, y'all. I'm just being honest. But it is a blessing for you and the other person if you can just look at people and smile sometimes. Just a simple smile can change somebody's life, okay? I apologize for this lengthy tutorial. I'm sorry that doesn't look perfect, but you know what? Whoop, whoop, it's me. I've had to put a dog in my lap while we were going. You can hear the moaning and groaning. I got one dog left. The other ones have disappeared in here, but y'all, I love y'all. I thank you for just sitting here and listening to my mouth all this time. Okay, I appreciate you guys. And I don't claim to be perfect. They're not going to always turn out the best. But I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to mess up for you guys. I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to help y'all. If you have any ideas for lives, I need you to hit me or LaDonna up. Some of the other ladies in the groups do lives too. And we want to do lives that you need. So shoot us a message. Let us know. Or leave a comment in this live and say, we got to see this. Like, you've been promising to do this, and I got a real short memory because I'll be 52 soon, and I'll remember a lot of times. But shoot me a message. Let me know what you want to see. I'm going to add to this later in pictures at the top and also all the colors we used. I'm going to add all the links to the top. It'll take me a little time, but just go up there and look maybe in an hour or so, and then you can see everything we used. All right. Hope y'all have a great night. Bye. Love you. Mwah, mwah.